Hello again, Misfits. It's time for another 1-minute review, and today we're taking a look at Robot Quest Arena, a game near and dear to my heart. So for those that maybe do or do not know, I did a lot of work for a company called Envoy and other publishers basically, and did demoing work. I would go to cons and I would work their booths and show off their games, right? Remember that, Tom? Tom did a little bit of that. Back in the old days, during the before the dark times, before the channel. One publisher I had the joy of working with was Wise Wizards. Of course, back then they had a slight name change, but they were awesome. They are very, very, very just good people. And I always loved a lot of their games that came out. These guys are familiar for Star Realms and Hero Realms and just a couple other things, Kapow, stuff like that. They make very, very solid games. They support them forever. They're awesome. So one game, though, I had the honor of demoing was actually in a prototype back then called RoboQuest Arena. And I absolutely loved it. It's a combination of a deck builder with just basic robot battling is the best way to put it. You have your own kind of grid here where you have your own robot and your own ability. Each one has its own pilot name and things like that. But I like the simplicity of it. And I also like the fact that it was kind of no holds barred, just jam fest. It's just a whole brawl. And that's pretty much the whole gist of the game. I mean, there's no questing in it really. It's more like, should be like Robot Brawl Arena. But it is an awesome game. So to break it down, it's a deck builder first and foremost. You have your cards, you start out with 10, you draw them, you play them. They're free to play, and you put them out. Now, energy is the basic engine of this game that makes it work. Energy is used for everything. Now, you play your cards. Most of the time, you'll have a battery in your starting hands. These give you energy. Sometimes you'll have a hammer or jump jets. I'll explain those in a minute. But you have your basic market that you can buy from. You have your static cards and cards that come out. So on your turn, you play these cards, you get the energy. Energy is used for largely two things, either buying cards from the market to add to your deck. When you buy cards, they go to your discard pile like any other deck builder. And they have their costs in the corner, 3, 3, 4, 4. These encompass everything from better movement to special attacks to better attacks, things like that. But also, you have to use energy to even move. So you'll spend one energy to move along and things like that. So you have to kind of balance that, because even if you get a bunch of energy in a turn, well, if I want to go attack this guy, I spend 1, 2, 3, 4 to get over there. There's no diagonal attacking in this game. It's all like hex based or octagonal based, you know what I mean? So you got to be adjacent and stuff like that. So you spend the cubes, you move, or maybe you don't move and you buy cards, or you mix it up a little bit. And you'll do that constantly. So as you go along, you'll start upgrading your deck. You'll get more things you could do, more attacks and things like that. You'll get things like jump jets that start out with that gives you free move. So a lot of cards you'll have will just give you moves, so you don't have to spend energy. Like this will give you a +2 move. You'll just move and call it a day. And then the idea is that you want to beat everybody else up. Everybody has a pool of health. It has a blue cube and red cubes. The blue cube is basically the last cube in your supply, and that's important. So as you go along, you'll get in your robots, you'll play a card, hopefully on your turn, that does an attack. Now, some of them will be melee attacks, like this does 1 attack, so I'll attack that guy for 1. Sometimes you'll have actually ranged attacks on there, like this has a 6, that's crazy, a laser cannon with 6 range. So you shoot all the way across the board. You'll do damage to them, and when you do damage to them, you get cubes from their supply. They lose it, you gain them. This goes into your point supply. These cubes at the end of the game are all worth 1 point. However, if you do knock a robot out, you get his last cube, the blue cube. Those are worth 2 points. Doesn't matter if you did all the rest of the damage him. It just matters if you knock him out. And this will continue. You'll constantly be upgrading your deck. Everybody will be, obviously. You'll be moving along the board, smacking each other in the face, doing attacks, things like that, upgrading your deck so they get more and more nasty as you go along. However, the game does have an end point, and you have so many cubes in here. These are your respawn cubes. Every time a robot respawns, it takes one of these cubes, respawns, and comes back to the board. Now, once you run out of these cubes, guess what? Game is over. Doesn't matter if it was the same robot that got knocked out 10 times, it doesn't matter. Once these cubes are gone, the next time someone has to respawn, game is done. Everybody adds up the cubes they have at the end of the game. Either, the red cubes, these are just count as 10 cubes or whatever. They add up the cubes at the end of the game. Whoever has the most cubes at the end of the game, or points at the end of the game, I should say, wins the game. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I like it a lot. It has a lot of variability. You have a lot of pilots you can add on. Oh, I did forget to mention your energy could be used to spend on your pilot ability. So it's asymmetrical a bit. So you have, each pilot has like their own special gimmick, at least to make you a little bit different. And a lot of times you might have to spend energy on those abilities as well. So that gives you a character, something to work with during the game. The boards are very variable since it's a kind of a flat board. They give you a bunch of tiles so you can make your arena as complex or as limited as you want. You have boulders that you can't move through, but you have healing packs that might heal your robot, stuff like that. So you could completely overhaul the arena to any state that you want. The game moves very fast. It is very fun, and it just gives you that quick hit of like you're literally just kicking the crap out of each other while also playing a deck builder. It's a very, very clever concept, a very, very well done concept that combines something that we all love, deck building, because everybody loves deck building pretty much, with just kicking the crap out of each other. A very, very fun game. The minis are a standout. They do these huge minis that look very, very nice, very, very solid painted. These aren't half-ass I'm looking for. These aren't half-ass minis at all. These are very, very quality minis. Along with anytime you buy an expansion from, you get a nice solid mini because they have other pilots they can do. And I think it supports all the way up to 6 or 8 people, if I recall. You can really, oh no, it says 2 to 4. My bad, I lied. It's 2 to 4. Although that's in the box. You know what? You could probably throw a 5th pilot in and call it good. You know what I mean? If you really wanted to.
I think that's what they told us.
Yeah, I mean, you really technically could throw whatever.
I bought the extra.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw in as probably, you know, up to 6 easily in this game and just have a complete brawl. And it'd just be just as fun because the player count doesn't really change. It only changes the how many respawns you have, really. This game is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun demoing it. I wanted to play it every time I demoed it, and it's just a ball. It's a very, very solid hit for Wise Wizards games. I give this game a solid 4. It is a game that is just good fun for pretty much everybody. I mean, really everybody. Like anybody can play this. Most any age can play this, as long as you could read a card. You know, even younger kids can play this. So it's just a solid game. Looks good, plays great, very fast paced, not long to set up, not long to take down. The only reason I don't give it a 5 maybe is because obviously complexity is not there for people that like crunchy Euros or anything like that. Obviously, you're obviously not going to find it here. But yeah, this game is a winner. Solid 4 stars. It should be in your library. It's just a good, fun game, guys. Wise Wizards games, check it out. RoboQuest Arena. I think this sells out pretty much at most every con they're at because it's just good. Until then, guys, of course, get your robots ready, get them heated up. And until then, as always, game on.